in narcotics, and with the GBI, I did a lot of specialized training with firearms, including tactical shotgun training, submachine gun training, scenario-based training. We go to specific training locations, like the federal marshals have a building complex that's set up like at a house, or
effects that could be considered a bullet hole.
yes.
Do you also learn about energy and power as it relates to how bullets come from the gun into a surface or into an area?
Yes.
All right. Now, taking you back to May 2013, I believe when you talked about your history with APD, were you assigned to Zone 6 Police Department within 2013?
May of 2013, yes, I was assigned to Zone 6.
And just briefly tell the jury what area borders, what area encompasses Zone 6 back in 2013?
Back in 2013, Zone 6 is unique within the city because it actually involves parts of Fulton and DeKalb. Zone 6 is mostly the east side of Atlanta, east of Piedmont Park, down over towards Moreland would split the DeKalb from the Fulton parts of Zone 6. From the zoo over to around Boulder Crest back in 2013 was basically Zone 6. From North Avenue down to the city limits on the south side.
And what zones bordered Zone 6 back in 2013?
Zone 2 would have bordered Zone 6, Zone 5, and Zone 3.
And where would Zone 3 have bordered Zone 6 back in 2013?
They would have shared, they would have bumped into each other. Zone 3's eastern boundary would have been Zone 6's western boundary.
And approximately, we're talking about streets or areas. Where in the city would that border occur?
Well, Zone 6 is like I said, the far east. Zone 3 would be just a little bit over from the far east, more kind of just down from downtown. Good landmarks, Zone 3 would have been the zoo. Would have been the old Turner Field, Zone 3. So that area, University, that kind of, if you're familiar with the city, that is more Zone 3.
And would the Zone 6 border be in and around that same area of where the zoo is on Boulevard down that side of the city?
A little bit farther over. The zoo's on Confederate over. Not far, like I said, it would have been close.
Tell the jury, back in 2013, were you an investigator?
Yes.
And what were your job duties and responsibilities as an investigator with Zone 6?
Back in 2013, the Zone 6 investigation would have handled everything, all crimes that had been committed other than your murders, your rapes, that sort of thing. So I would have been responsible for investigating crimes from petty theft all the way up to armed robberies and people getting shot.
I want to specifically direct your attention to May 13, 2013. Did you have the occasion to respond to the Zone 3 precinct on May 13, 2013?
I did.
And why did you respond to that location?
There was a report of a citizen who walked in the Zone 6 precinct, later identified to me as Miss Archulette Bennett. She had walked into the Zone 3 precinct and spoke to the desk officer there and reported that she was a victim of an armed robbery and that her house was shot.
Okay. When you, at the time in which you learned of this person walking to the Zone 3 precinct, where would you have been at that time?
I don't remember exactly where I was, but I was assigned in Zone 6. I was a Zone 6 detective. So I was advised on the radio of the situation of the walk-in in Zone 3.
Okay. Where in 2013 was Zone 6 precinct?
It was at 2025 Hosea L. Williams, and the same place it's currently located.
And in 2013, where was the Zone 3 precinct?
880 Cherokee, at the zoo, right next to the zoo.
And about how far approximately was the Zone 6 precinct from the Zone 3 precinct?
4 miles.
Now, did you eventually make it over to the Zone 3 precinct?
I did.
Now, why is it that you were called as a Zone 6 investigator response to the Zone 3 precinct?
I was called because the incident occurred in Zone 6 at 980 Confederate, even though the victim was in Zone 3. The crime still occurred under my responsibility, which was Zone 6. Given it was reported as a prior crime, those types of incidents, whatever zone detective in that area of responsibility would actually respond and handle the initial call.
Okay, so you said a few things here. You said, although she was in Zone 3, what do you mean?
She walked into Zone 3 precinct.
Now,
to make the cry out for the crime. Yes.
You said that the incident happened at 980 Confederate Court.
It did.
Is that first that location in Fulton County?
It is.
And how far approximately is 980 Confederate Court to the Zone 3 precinct at 880 Cherokee Avenue?
It's about a mile, a little under a mile probably.
And have you had the opportunity to look at a map with those two locations on it in preparation for your testimony here today?
I have.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to approach?
You shown that to defense counsels already?
Yes, they were getting to the top about we showing it to the fair.
Yes, you may have permission to approach.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 26AA. Tell me, or Alpha Alpha. Tell me if you recognize 26 Alpha Alpha.
This is a printout of either Google Maps or Street Maps with the outline between Trestle Tree Apartments, which is 980 Confederate, to 880 Cherokee Avenue, which was the Zone 3 precinct back in 2013.
And looking at this, is that a fair, accurate depiction of the distance between 980 Confederate Court, also known as Trestle Tree Village Apartments, and 880 Cherokee Avenue, which was the Zone 3 precinct in 2013?
It is.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender State's Exhibit 26 Alpha Alpha into evidence.
Any objection to states 26 Alpha Alpha?
No objection.
All right, it's admitted, may be published as you see fit.
And I believe the stick is right here. If you could take that, stick right here.
You mean to take the stick?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if you could show the jury where on this map where in 880 Cherokee Avenue Southeast is.
Here's the zoo. That is the old Zone 3 precinct right here at 880 Cherokee Avenue.
And where is the Trestle Tree Apartments, or what was 980 Confederate Court?
This united back in 2013. It's called Confederate Court. And this is 980 Confederate Court, which is Trestle Tree Apartment.
Leaving old, toxic, and negative energy.
Yes.
Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is all new on MTV.
So what you want, young scrap?
From new career moves
I'm leaving the label because the label didn't do me right.
to a new saucy swag.
Think this
Looking back from at this map, are you able to show the boundary of what
all this would be zone 3, even back then. I'm sorry. This is back then that was zone 6.
All this being what, Detective?
And which streets are you
I'm sorry.
referring to on it? That's fine.
Back in May 2013, around the zoo would have been around the border. This eastern side being zone 6.
And is that the eastern side of United Avenue on this map?
It's the eastern side of Boulevard, what I'm pointing out.
Okay.
So Boulevard have been in general, from my recollection, it's been a few years. Boulevard would have been about a hard boundary between 6 and 3.
Okay. So everything to the left of Boulevard would be zone 3. Everything to the right of Boulevard would have been zone 6.
Correct.
Okay. And approximately, what is the distance between the Treasure Tree Village and 880 Cherokee Avenue?
Saying 0.9 on this map, on this picture, which is about right. I said about a mile.
Okay. And back in 2013, which precinct was closer to Treasure Tree Village? The Zone 3 precinct at 880 Cherokee or the Zone 6 precinct at Hosea L. Williams?
Zone 3 would have been much closer to Treasure Tree. Let's say about less than a mile. You're probably looking at, 4 miles going to Zone 6.
And when you arrived to the Zone 3 precinct, did you meet with Ms. Bennett?
I did.
Was she with anyone when you met with her?
Have a seat.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, you can. For a little while.
Well, I watched her when you get up, so I'll let you know if I need to. Yes, I did meet with Ms. Bennett at Zone 3 precinct.
And was she with anyone?
She was with a young male child of hers.
And when you say young male, how old are you referring?
I can't remember how exactly the young man was. It was my best memory is between infant and just barely walking or not walking stage.
So a baby.
Baby or toddler.
And what, if anything, happened while you were at the Zone 3 precinct?
I spoke with Ms. Bennett, who advised me of the events that occurred both earlier that morning around 4:00 a.m. and the previous day, which was Mother's Day, May 12th, 2013.
And what did she tell you while at the precinct?
She said that around 1:00 on Mother's Day, which was May 12th, 2013, she was inside of her apartment at 880 Confederate Apartment D when she heard a loud knock on the door. She went to see who was knocking at the door, and her statement to me was it was a person named Thug and Thug's brother.
Did she tell you that at the police precinct, or did she tell you that later?
I don't remember exactly when that was told to me. If it was before we went back to her apartment or prior.
Did you memorialize your interactions with Miss Bennett in your police report?
I did.
Well, looking at a copy of the police report help refresh your memory as to what she told you at the police precinct.
Yes. One second.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may,
I'm going to show you what I've shown the defense counsel as State's Exhibit 58 Alpha Alpha. Tell me if you recognize 58 Alpha Alpha.
So, according to my report
Wait,
here,
what?
I'm sorry. Yes, I do. The 58 Alpha Alpha is an incident report I made on May 13th, 2013.
And looking at a copy of your police report, will that help refresh your memory as to what was said to you while just at the precinct?
It would.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to look at 58AA. Don't say anything. Read it. And once your memory's refreshed, just look up and let me know.
Okay.
Has your memory been refreshed?
It has.
All right. What occurred? What, if anything, did she tell you while at the precinct?
At the precinct, she told me that the night before at approximately, or the day before at approximately 1 o'clock, she was robbed at gunpoint and at her apartment at 880 Cherokee. And she waited, and then, wait 1 second.
Good.
Okay.
And let me ask you why you're a freshman. You said the apartment at 880 Cherokee. Is that where the apartment is?
980 Confederate Avenue, I'm sorry.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to just ask that.
Basis,
He needs to refresh his recollection, not testify.
I'll sustain the objection.
Are you looking at a copy of your report to refresh your memory?
I am.
As to what though? That's what the improper objection is. So if you need to get in, yes.
Are you looking at the police report to refresh your memory as to what she told you while at the precinct?
Yes,
Okay.
and the time frame. So
Did looking at the report help refresh your memory as to what she told you at the precinct?
it did.
All right. Go ahead. Has your memory
Okay.
been refreshed?
It has.
All right.
So when I initially met her at the precinct, Zone C precinct, she advised me that the day before, on Mother's Day, at about 1 o'clock, she was robbed at gunpoint by known individuals to her. She stated that they later came back.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. May we approach briefly?
Okay.
If 911 wasn't actually physically called.
Via police radio to dispatch. So either the desk officer or whatever officer respond, either if it's a flag down or a walk into the precinct, would get on the police radio, advise their location and what they had, and that would initiate a CAD report. When she says CAD report, she's saying computer automated dispatch. What that does, that just gives you, when you're in an accident or you have an incident and people give you a police report number or an incident number, it's generally nowadays computer automated. In Atlanta, it's the year, like this year of 24 would always be the start. And then a Julian date, so 001, it would start January 1st is 001. Then the last four would be whatever number you were that day on either calling 911, flagging an officer down, or walking to a precinct, whichever would needed to generate a report.
And have you, over the course of your 24 years, been able to view and understand CAD reports?
Yes.
And are you familiar with how they are kept?
Yes.
Are CAD reports kept in a regular and ordinary course of business for the Atlanta Police Department?
Are they? I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
Kept in a regular and ordinary course of business for the Atlanta Police Department?
They are.
And are they generated at the time in which the calls are initiated?
They are.
Permission to approach. I'm going to show you what's been marked as stated in 55A and 56A.
All right.
How many of you recognize stated in 55A and 55 alpha alpha and 56 alpha alpha?
All right. We'll start with 55 alpha alpha.
Yes.
That's okay. This is what you refer to as the CAD report, computer aided dispatch. It's from May 13th, 2013.
And before you go into full detail, tell me, do you recognize that to be a computer aided dispatch report?
It is.
All right. And does that appear to be, looking at that CAD report, a fair and accurate depiction of the CAD report generated on May 13th, 2013?
It is.
All right. Now also looking at 56 alpha alpha.
Yes.
Does it also appear to be a CAD report that was generated back on May 13, 2013 as it relates to this incident?
It is.
And again, are both 56 and 57 alpha alpha kept, 55 and 56 alpha alpha kept in the regular and ordinary course of business of the Atlanta Police Department?
They are.
Yeah, this time I'm saying like tenders 56 alpha alpha, 55 alpha alpha, and 56 alpha alpha into evidence.
Any objection, you say it's 55 alpha alpha or 56 alpha alpha?
Yes, Your Honor. Objection as to both on the grounds of hearsay. The Consoco versus State also object as to improper foundation. He's not a proper witness to testify and go out to any foundation. That's custodian of records. Consoco versus State, footnote number 3, I believe this is specifically for him.
You're right. May I respond?
And confrontation clause, Your Honor.
May I respond?
Yes.
Your Honor, he's been an officer with the Atlanta Police Department for 24 years. He is familiar with the reports in which he is discussing. These reports are kept in the regular and ordinary course of business in which he's familiar with, and that'll be enough to get it in as a business record exception under, and
This is my CAD report.
and it's his CAD report. And so he would be able to introduce. That is, one of those reports is Investigator Kirkman's actual CAD report that he generated as a call-in regarding this incident, Your Honor.
I'd also object on the grounds of bolstering, improper bolstering.
Oh, wow.
Can I give the court the cite to the Amsoka page, Your Honor?
No, I'm good.
What is the name of it?
Cite to the.
We'll do that later. We'll do that later. I'll do that right now.
How's that?
All right, Mr. Adams, that's your objection, this is foundation, custodian, and confrontation, they are overruled. So, at this point in time, I'll make the statements over your objection.
And that's the improper hearsay, Your Honor?
55 alfalfa and 56 alfalfa.
And that's the hearsay, Your Honor?
Overruled, sir.
Permission to publish.
No problem.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, 55 alpha. Yes.
Let me know if I'm blocking anybody.
Now, first one that says Exhibit 55 alpha alpha. If you can just kind of orient the jury, how was this CAD report? Excuse me, strike that. Let's go back. Earlier, you talked about how the number was generated. If you can look at that incident number and walk again through how the significance of those numbers, with the year, the date.
He's already testified to that.
I wanted to show it on here.
Let's move on. He's already testified to that.
Okay. Going through this exhibit, if you can let the jury know, how is it that, again, because a call wasn't created, how this was generated?
This was, if you go down just a little bit, you can see that it's self-initiated, which means, and then now go back up, or right here, you can see that's the officer's name and their unique ID number, and self-initiated. That would mean it's either a walk into the precinct, you got flagged down or something, he ran into something. So this would be something where an officer pulled themselves out on.
Okay. And if you can scroll down.
This officer who pulled himself out on it was working 33.99. 33.99. 3 would be the watch, so that is evening watch. 3 would be the zone 3, and 99s are usually the officers working as desk officers inside of the precinct.
And will also count when that person was working at the desk outside of the precinct.
Yes.
Based on looking at the CAD report.
Yes.
Okay. And at what point in time does it appear that he initiated this CAD?
according to this, SI, self-initiated, 5/13/2013 at 2:44:58 p.m.
And do you know why? Do you know what would be the significance of the remarks not a kind?
It's not a Confederate. I don't know if he didn't, I don't know why it wasn't always spelled out here, but.
That would be speculation and I would object.
Okay, looking at the second line, 3399A, what does the A symbolize?
A is arrived.
And then if you just keep on going down,
Okay.
to RL.
RL is relocating. That's where the address was corrected. And then RL relocating looked like the address was corrected again from Court to Avenue.
And then what is C?
C is when the officer cleared the call.
And looking down the bottom, we're at 24601, and it says 5232. Explain that to the jury.
Okay, go back so I can read all of it. We're talking here.
Yes, sir.
Let's just give in the address, Confederate Court, inside the city of Atlanta.
Okay. And now, I believe that's everything that's contained on that page. Okay. Now, looking at this page, what if anything is that indicating on this portion of the care report?
All right, so this is still 33, the desk officer's CAD report. It's showing when he gave the address, it shows up as 607, which would be back then zone 6 beat 07 or beat 7. Same thing here. This is switching the CAD from a zone 3 CAD to a zone 6 CAD, because even though he pulled out, it was self-initiated in zone 3. It's not 80 Confederate, it's actually in zone 6. So that corrected the location in the CAD report. So he's the primary officer again with the address.
And going down, anything else within that page?
That's just a premise history page. It's not showing anything. So in there, I don't know if there's anything in the narrative below.
But looking at that case, there's nothing in the narrative.
No, I don't
Okay.
see anything in the narrative.
All right, now we're going to look at 56 Alpha Alpha.
And from time to time, can I refer back to this just for I get a whole view?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Now, at 56 Alpha Alpha, is that a different incident number?
It is.
And do you know why there was a different incident number from the first one, from 55 Alpha Alpha to 56 Alpha Alpha?
Because this is the CAD report that I self-initiated.
Okay. And with the fact that you self-initiated generated a new number?
It would.
All right. Walk us through, what time did you initiate this report?
1509, which is 3:09 p.m.
Okay. And is that when you would have received information from Zone 3 to make your way to Zone 3?
This was self-initiated while I was at Zone 3.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the response.
It was self-initiated while I was at Zone 3.
All right. And if we can move down. If you can kind of walk us through this portion
SI, that's self-initiated. Date and time,
And what was the time? The date and the time.
May 13th, 2013. Time 3:09:37 p.m. Again, shows the address. 98 Confederate Court, Apartment D. If you go here, that RL, that's relocating, meaning I got on the radio and I advised them that I was changing from Zone 3 precinct and actually going to the location at 980 Confederate Avenue. And this is when I cleared the call.
At what time did you clear the call?
At 4:28 p.m.
All right. And so it's fair to say that you spent about an hour on this call, an hour and 18 minutes on this call.
Yes.
And looking at the bottom under the narrative, what if anything did you tell radio?
This is radio. Serve checks. This is radio traffic, 5/13/2013 at 3:09:37 p.m. This is me pulling out that I have a female and a juvenile male. This was my vehicle mileage that I started with. This is the time that I started traveling, 15:09 hours. Advising them I'm going from Zone 3 precinct. 16G is police jargon for precinct. That 7334, that is the ID number. So they were advised to meet me at Confederate Avenue. This at 7:09. So at 15:14 hours. So 5 minutes later, I arrived. My any mileage was 8:07.5, which is 1 mile from Zone 3 precinct to 980 Confederate Court, Apartment D.
And when you go back to 7334 ID, who were you calling to ask to meet you at the location?
That it said 7334 would have been the crime scene technician's number. So that's their unit number, and they were advised of the call.
And I believe that is David, you can have a seat. Now, back in 2013, did you have body-worn cameras in 2013?
No, I did not.
Now, we spoke about Ms. Bennett, who you met. Do you recall what her date of birth was?
Not off the top of my head. I'd have to refer my police report for that.
And would looking at a copy of your police report have refresh your memory to her date of birth?
It would.
I'm going to show you what's going to mark for identification purposes at 6057 AA. Do you recognize 57 Alpha Alpha?
I do.
And how do you recognize 57 Alpha Alpha?
This is a copy of the police report written by myself on May 13, 2013.
And we're looking at a copy that helped refresh your memory as to the date of birth. Of Ms.
It
Bennett.
sure did.
Okay. And without reading from the document, once your memory's refreshed, you can just look up and let me know what was her date of birth.
6/15/1986.
And did you, from that CAD report, what occurred once you made it back to apartment D at 980 Confederate Court?
Per the CAD report?
No.
I'm
What
sorry.
happened once you got back to the apartment, got to the apartment?
It was myself, Investigator Jones, Miss Bennett, and her small male child. So we all rode together. We went to her apartment, which was apartment D. We visually looked inside and outside the apartment, verified stories and events Miss Bennett was saying, and also questioned Miss Bennett about the incident that happened.
And let me ask you, why did you go back to the apartment?
Because this was a report of 2 serious crimes. One from the day before on the 12th of an armed robbery with firearms taken and shot. And the second was a report of them coming back in that morning, firing shots again. So due to the nature of potential evidence, witnesses, wanting to verify stories and accounts, I went back to where the location was alleged to have happened.
And while at the apartment, was she able to give you more detail about what happened?
She was.
All right. And what, if anything, do you recall her telling you as far as what happened first on May 12th, 2013?
So, Miss Bennett said she was inside of her apartment. She heard a loud knock at the door. She looked and noticed it was a male that she knew named Thug, and also a person that she stated name was Thug's brother. She said that these two were friends of her child's father, Mr. Makia Anderson. Once she recognized that she knew the individuals, she let them inside of her apartment.
Did she say what if anything happened once
Yeah.
they came inside of her apartment?
She said she went into the kitchen to give her baby a bottle, or make her baby a bottle, excuse me. At which point, Thug's brother produced what she called a 9mm handgun and put it back to her head, to the back of her head, demanding her personal items, money, effects, stuff like that.
Did she advise if anyone else was there besides Thug and Thug's brother?
She said another male had entered named DK.
She said that it was a 9mm, but she didn't describe to you what color that 9mm was.
I have to go back and, I don't believe so, but I have to go back and check on the report.
Okay, we're looking at a copy of your report, help refresh your memory.
It would.
Okay.
Silver, 9mm.
And you said that there was this third person, DK. Did she advise that she was aware of or knew who DK was? Did she know DK?
Yes.
And did she say if they asked or demanded anything from her?
Yes, they demanded several items.
And did they take anything?
They did.
What did they take?
I have to.
Go ahead.
Yes, I know they took a Versace necklace.
And if you need to refresh your report, just
I have to go. I know that they took one of her cell phones, $4,000 cash, some car keys, a Versace necklace, baby or book bag. I think another $100 off the table or something. I have to go back and get more of the list. Is that okay? Yeah. Sorry. They took her Kel-Tec PLR 16-223 caliber pistol.
And do you recall her if she told you who and she took the gun?
DK.
Do you recall she told you there was anything inside of the baby book bag on the scene?
Oh my go back. There's, you say besides or beside?
Was there anything inside of the baby book bag that was taken?
Yeah, inside she said Ray Dre headphones.
Ray? Or
Red, sorry, R-E-D.
And did she describe the color of the baby book bag? Yes. You can refresh your memory.
Brown.
And you said that she mentioned that they took car keys. Do you recall what type of car keys they were? Were they hers or their rental or something else?
She said, I believe she said rental, but I have to make sure I have to go back.
Yes, you can.
Oh, where are the car keys? Rental car keys, yes.
If you need to refresh your memory, is there anything else that she listed as being taken? What you said thus far, the Versace necklace, $100, an additional $4,000, one of her cell phones, rental car keys, her brown baby book bag that had the red Dre headphones inside of it, and her Kel-Tec model PLR 223 pistol. Wasn't anything else?
So we got the $4,000 in there?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe that's all.
And was there a distinction or a difference between where the $100 was and where the $4,000 was?
I know the $100 was off the kitchen table. The $4,000, I'll have to go back and refresh if I specifically said that where that was. I don't specifically say it, but I did separate it. I didn't do 40, so I guess looks like maybe they were both on the table, but two separate, yeah.
And after she told you what items were taken, did she say if anything else occurred?
She did.
What did she say occurred?
She stated that on the way out, DK fired one shot from her stolen Kel-Tec just above her couch into the living room wall.
Did she advise if they left?
Yes.
And did she advise how they left?
And two vehicles.
And did she tell you what were the two vehicles that they left for?
I know one was a blue Dodge Challenger, and I had to look on the color of the other, a brown four-door vehicle.
And to your knowledge, do you know if either of those were associated with the rental car keys that she said was stolen?
I don't know. She made no mention that that her car was stolen, just the car keys.
And did she advise at all to you what occurred what she did once they left her apartment?
She did.
What did she say?
She said that she was scared, so she stayed inside of her apartment for several hours before going to a hotel room for the night.
And then did she tell you did she return to her apartment after leaving to go to the hotel?
Not to my knowledge. Not until I drove her back to the apartment.
Did she advise you of anything else that occurred at her apartment?
She advised, she stated that the reason she came in to the Zone 3 precinct to report this was that earlier in the morning around 4 o'clock, she received notification from some unknown witnesses, neighbors, that around 4 o'clock, people had returned and shot up her apartment.
And is that the reason why she came and reported it?
She She said after conferring with her mom and the fact that they came back and shot her apartment up, that's why she was reporting it the next day.
And then was she able to show you anything on her phone regarding the individuals that she told you came to her home the day before and shot and stole from her and shot that one shot on Mother's Day?
She told me she had a picture of Thug and DK on her cell phone.
And was she able to show you that picture of Thug and DK on her cell phone?
She did.
Did she say anything else about the individuals, about any of the individuals who stole from her on Mother's Day?
She said they were all friends of her child's father, Mr. Anderson, I believe, Mika Anderson. She said that they were using the phone that she stole.
That she stole?
That they stole, I'm sorry. The cell phone, the Boost Mobile cell phone, whatever. That they were using that to contact her saying they were sorry. And yeah.
Did she ever tell you they advised whether or not
Objection, that's the meeting.
Did she ever tell you they communicated with her?
Yes.
Okay. What, if anything, did the individuals who stole the items communicate to her?
Can I refer exact what they said? Said they called her to apologize.
And to do anything else?
Offer to return her stolen items.
Was she able to tell you if she knew where these individuals were the night before they robbed her?
Yes, they said they were out with her child's father, Mr. Anderson.
And this is all information that Ms. Bennett provided you back at her home. Is this all the information that she provided to you while back at her home?
Yes.
Now, early on the CARE report, you said you had ID tech come out. Why did you have the ID tech come out?
To take pictures of Miss Bennett's apartment, which I noticed bullet holes.
And have you had an opportunity to look at those pictures in preparation for your testimony today?
I have.
And Your Honor, this time the state would like to publish what has already been admitted as State's Exhibit 1 through 23A, AA. Now, while this is being put up, let me ask you this. Are you familiar with the apartment layout of the Trestle Tree Apartments?
Familiar with the layout back in 2013. I don't know if they've been refurbished. Yes.
Yeah, and how are you familiar with the layout of the apartments back in 2013?
I was in Zone 6 for several years, and I had a few calls at 980 Confederate where I went inside the apartments.
And have you had the ability to go inside and see the layout of the apartments?
I'm sorry?
Have you had the ability to go inside those apartments and look inside those apartments?
I did.
Permission to approach, Your Honor. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 24 Alpha Alpha. Tell me if you recognize State's Exhibit 24 Alpha Alpha.
I do.
And how do you recognize State's Exhibit 24 Alpha Alpha?
It is very similar to the layout of what would be a two-bedroom apartment at 980 Confederate back in 2013.
And in looking at 24 Alpha Alpha, is that familiar to what Ms. Bennett's apartment looked like or resembled back in 2013?
Except it's transversed, so this actually would have been in the front door.
Okay.
and then at the back door.
So it's just opposite of what's in 24 outbound.
Right, that up here, let me get it up, I'll show you.
Well,
Up here, yeah, that would have been the front door and then the back door.
I'm going to object any testimony to the contents of the photograph, unless and until it's
yes. So before you tell me about that, but is that a fair, accurate picture of the layout of those apartments back in 2013?
It is.
Now, this house said like 10 to 24 outbound.
Any objection?
I would object. Foundation indicated it's not, picture is transverse or opposite. It's not.
I'm gonna sustain. Let's testify to the transverse, so I'll sustain.
Well, if I was looking at it, no, I'm sorry. Yep.
My question posed.
Okay. If you were looking at that apartment complex, outside of it being flipped, is that the layout of the 2-bedroom apartments at Trestle Tree Apartment back in 2013?
It is.
At this time, to say like 10 to 24 alpha into evidence.
Judge, already ruled, there's nothing different.
I'm just saying objection. He can draw, old school, he can draw.
Sure.
I can't, I'm left-handed, I can't draw. All right.
Use either of these two markers.
Right.
As best as your ability, draw your understanding of the layout of the Trestle Tree Apartments. With this, we'll use this bottom portion to be Confederate Court, and drawing it looking as this street is Confederate Court.
At the ASPCA, we give a voice to the voiceless. We fight for those who can't, and that's why we need your help. To shape laws, brave storms, raid puppy mills, crawl under houses, up roofs, and fight to break the chain of abuse. But to these rescued animals, there's still one last battle to fight, and this fight is ours. Join us to learn how you have the power to make a difference.
Introducing custom t-shirts. Sticker Mill makes it easy to turn any design into a custom shirt. Promote your business, rally your team, or just make friends laugh. You can order one shirt or save money by ordering larger quantities in various sizes. Pick a shirt color and a quantity, upload your artwork, and select a print position. You get an online proof showing how your custom t-shirts will look. You can request changes to the proof for free until you're happy. With easy ordering and fast turnaround, Sticker Mill is the internet's favorite printer.
Pictures.
Okay.
One just the building, and then a bigger one of the actual apartment. So the building would have been red brick building like that. You would have upstairs and downstairs with 4 apartments each. A and B, C and D. So A and B, C and D. Ms. Bennett's apartment was D, upstairs to the right. So that would have been her apartment on that 4 apartment building. So here, Federer Avenue, walkway up to that building. Her apartment would have been, like I said, upstairs. There have been some steps. The door here, D, Some windows. From the door, be the living room, wall, some closets. Behind this wall, kitchen, and bath, and a couple bedrooms. Should have been over here. Bedroom and bedroom.
All right. Thank you. So, and based upon your recollection, that's a fair and accurate drawing of how you remember her floor layout back in May of 2013.
It is.
And if you could just put May 5, 2013 on there. And your initials. Now, I want to show you what's already been admitted as basis exhibit 44A, 44 alpha alpha, 45 alpha alpha, 44 and 45 alpha alpha.
Do I already have copies of those? Go back to 44 and 45? Okay, go.
Looking at section exhibit 44 alpha. Now I'm gonna direct you to the screen behind you. What is depicted in 44 alpha alpha?
That is the entrance off of what was then Confederate Avenue to Trestle Tree Apartments.
And is that a gated entry?
It was. Back in 2013, it was a gated entry.
You said, I'm sorry, back in 2013?
Yeah, back in 2013, it was a gated entry.
All right.
The gates didn't always work, but they were there.
And do you recall having, if you can remember, did you have to go into the gate to go to Miss Bennett's apartment?
Yes, I did.
Okay. All right, now we're going to start looking at State's Exhibit number 1, alpha alpha. And while we're waiting for that to load, do you recall if Miss Bennett was able to give you a phone number to the phone that was taken from her?
I believe she did. I'd have to refer back for the number on my report here.
Okay, if you go ahead and look at your report, see if it helps refresh your memory.
Yes, it's 404-734-7358.
And then also, I believe you said it earlier, but just in case, did she give you a serial number to the Caltech that was stolen?
I believe she did. I have to go back to the report for the serial number.
Okay. Look and see if those copies of the report give you the serial number to the Caltech.
Yes, it did.
And does looking at the copy of your report help refresh your memory as to the serial number for the Caltech?
It does.
And once your memory's refreshed, let me know.
It is P as in Paul, V607.
Did you say V as in Victor?
V as in Victor.
607. Now, looking at, State's Exhibit 1 alpha alpha. Did you direct the crime scene tech to take these pictures?
I did.
Okay. And what was significant for you for the crime scene to take this picture of what's depicted in one out?
This is the outside of 980 Confederate. Like I said here, A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, and D. And up here would be in Miss Bennett's apartment back in 2013, which is D.
All right. Looking at 2 alfalfa. Is that just indicating the apartment number?
Yeah, that is a fixed sign on the brick of the apartment.
What was significant for you as the investigator in depicting what's in 3 alfalfa?
Two things here. This is Miss Bennett's apartment door, D. And on that door right here is what I saw was a bullet hole in the door.
And we're going to get to what you saw in D. Looking at door C, did you notice any defects within door C?
I didn't back in the time.
Do you see now looking at any,
there's some sort of defect here. I'm not really sure what that is. And got a closer picture, and the fact that I don't remember inspecting it back in 2013, I can't testify to what that is.
And let me ask, back in 2013, did anyone, while you were out there speaking with Ms. Bennett, come from apartment C and report anything to you?
They did not.
I stand objection.
I'm not asking what anybody, so I'm asking whether. Okay. Did anyone make contact with you from apartment C?
They did not.
Okay. Once looking at apartment D, you noticed that you said you noticed it was what you believe to be a gunshot hole. Why did you determine that or believe it to be a gunshot hole?
Just a few things. My training, knowledge, and experience of what a gunshot hole looks like when it hits a door or a wooden or metal object, in this case a wooden door. The size and the shape indicate to me that that is a bullet hole.
Was there anything else regarding that hole that made you believe it to be a gunshot hole?
I do, on the back side.
And when you say on the back side, is that on the inside of the door?
Yeah, on the inside of the door.
Okay.
The way the wood was displaced.
You may. We've been going about an hour and a half or thereabouts, and you probably need to take a comfort break. We're going to take 15 minutes and then come back, okay? All right, we're in recess. We summon our witness, please.
Chief.
You have 10 seconds. I just put on the record that case that Mr. Adams cited. Hold on. Sir, Mr. Kurtman, can you step back for just a second, please? All right, you got 10 seconds.
Thank you, sir. It was earlier, it was the patent court confrontation clause as well as hearsay, and it's KAMUSOKO versus state. Your Honor, it's 362 Georgia Appeal 276, and that is footnote 3 and 2022.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Summon our witness, please.
Thanks, sir.
All right, summon our jurors, please, sir. Can you fix it? Okay. Brown, don't do that. Don't do that, please. All right, thank you, Sergeant Ingram. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. All right. All right, so you may continue.
Thank you, Mr. When we were last looking, we were looking at 3 alpha alpha. Now I want to look or focus or go to 6 alpha alpha and then 7 alpha alpha. So first 6, is that a closer picture of the defect that you identify as a bullet hole in 6 alpha alpha?
It is.
All right. And the 7 alpha alpha, is that a close up?
It is.
All right. Now I want to look at 8 alpha alpha. What, if anything, was significant, or why did you have the crime team take the picture that was an 8 alpha alpha?
This defect with the wood peeled off, and that indication is directly on the other side of the door of where the previous picture's defect was, which I identified as a bullet hole.
Okay. And 9 alpha alpha, is that a close up of that particular defect that you saw on the back of that door?
It is.
All right. Now looking at 10 alpha alpha and 11 alpha alpha. What, if anything, why did you have the crime scene technician take pictures of 10 and 11 Alpha Alpha?
May I go back to here?
Yes.
All right, what we're looking at here is apartment D, Miss Bennett's apartment. Her front door, that's the window right to the right of her front door. This window, this is a picture of that window with an obvious defect in the window.
And did you determine what type of defect, or let me ask you, based on your knowledge and training, was there any significance about that particular defect?
Based on my knowledge and training, this defect appeared to be from a bullet and a bullet hole.
Okay. And had you seen bullet holes that looked like that previously?
Yes.
And is that over your 24 years of experience?
Correct.
All right. Now looking at 12 Alpha Alpha and 13 Alpha Alpha. Do you see that window or the other side of that window in 13 Alpha Alpha?
Yes. Right here is the inside of the window, and right there by the full core tag is the defect.
Okay. Now looking at 15, and let me ask you this, do you recall back in 2013, it appears that a portion of that shade is open. Do you remember if that was how the crime scene tech, you and the crime tech found it? Do you recall?
Right. If it was any different than what it is right now with that defect, we would have taken a picture of it first before doing any manipulation.
Okay.
Due to the fact that there's no prior picture, this would be the way we found the window shade to be.
Okay. All right. So now looking at 14 Alpha Alpha as a close-up. And does it appear that most of the windows are closed except for that portion that's kind of open in 14 Alpha Alpha?
Yes, all the windows closed except for the portion where the defect is.
And now looking at 15 Alpha Alpha and 16 Alpha Alpha. Why did you have crime scene take a picture of 15 and 16 Alpha Alpha?
Because this is a shot of the defect after we manipulated by pulling up the slides.
Okay.
I mean the shades, the slides, the shades.
All right. Now I want to look, kind of want to skip to 21 Alpha Alpha. Excuse me, first 20 Alpha Alpha. No, 20. Where on your diagram is 20 Alpha Alpha?
This would be these closets right around here.
Okay. And then 21 Alpha Alpha?
Same closet, different angle, right around here.
Okay. And in relation to the window, where was that in relation to the window?
They would be on a wall, like right around here to the window, maybe.
And in 20 Alpha Alpha and 21 Alpha Alpha, what, if anything, was significant why you had the crime scene tech take pictures of 20 Alpha Alpha and 21 Alpha Alpha?
This is what, also, for my training, knowledge, and experience, this is what I considered a bullet hole, entered the wall, and skipped along the door.
Okay. You said enter the wall, and how, what made you?
Objection, foundation.
Standing objection.
Okay. But based on your knowledge and experience, you said it hit the wall and did a trap.
Yes.
Objection, same objection.
You just,
Standing objection.
now I want to go back to State's Exhibit.
Stolen pistol fired by DK, behind her couch to her living room wall, which is depicted by that photograph and that defect.
And was she able to say anything about what was depicted in State's Exhibits 15 Alpha Alpha, 14 through 16 Alpha Alpha?
These were, I don't remember if she told me that these were specifically when they came back and fired, only that the one on the couch was the only one fired when the robbery occurred.
Okay. Do you recall sitting here now if she remembered having that hole in her window when she left her apartment to go to the hotel?
I don't remember if she specifically told me that those are the ones that happened the morning before. Only that she specifically pointed out the one above the couch.
Okay. And looking at 23 Alpha Alpha, what was significant about 23 Alpha Alpha?
Like we talked about earlier, this is, Ms. Bennett told me she had a picture of DK and Thug on her phone. She showed it to me, and this is her holding her phone. And this picture, if I remember correctly, she was holding it, and our crime scene technician snapped a copy of the photo of the two people she said were involved in the robbery on 5/12.
And sitting here today, do you remember which person was Thug and which person was DK?
I don't remember which one she told me was who.
Now, while you were at her apartment complex, let's first talk about inside the apartment. Did you find any projectiles?
Have a seat.
Yes, you have a seat.
I'm not feeling it. All right. I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. When you were inside of her apartment, did you find any projectiles?
I did not.
Did you find any shell casings?
I did not.
Was that surprising for you?
No, not in particular.
Why not?
One for inside. Only one round was fired, she said, from inside the apartment. That was from the day prior. Anything could have happened to the shell casing. It could have got kicked around. It could have got picked up. I don't know, but it's not uncommon that I, in my 24 years, have went to shooting scenes and not found projectiles or casings.
And as far as outside, did you look for or find any shell casings or projectiles outside of the apartment?
I did look for shell case and projectiles. I did not find any.
And again, based on your knowledge and experience, was that uncommon or surprising for you?
Not surprising or uncommon.
Why is that?
Just one where we were dealing with several hours of time frame between the reported time and when I arrived to the crime scene. So, like I said, they could have been picked up, moved, blown away by landscapers who, any numerous things could have happened.
Were you able to canvass the area?
I did.
And without telling me anything that anyone said, were you able to speak with witnesses on the scene?
I did.
Were they able to give you information that assisted in your investigation?
I stand the objection.
I'm not asking any here.
I stand the objection.
Where you provided information that was assisted you in your investigation?
Objection.
I stand the objection.
Who did you speak with?
I spoke with a,
It's not what who he spoke with is not hearsay.
Someone says their name, they're saying something that's hearsay.
Your Honor, we don't believe anyone gave their name.
I'm gonna sustain the objection, and you can't testify either. So I'm gonna sustain the objection. Let's move on. I've already ruled on this anyways.
After you canvassed the area, you spoke with witnesses. Did that conclude your investigation on that day?
it did.
Okay. Let me ask you this. When you were out there, the crime scene tech, did they come in a crime scene van?
They did.
Okay. And would that crime scene van have been parked outside?
It would have.
Okay. While you were out there, did any residents approach you to give any reports about any shootings?
They did.
Okay. Excuse me. About the entire building being shot up, the entire complex.
I sustain the objection.
Were there any 911 calls outside of the CAD report that you discussed earlier?
Not to my knowledge.
After May 13th, did you attempt to make contact with Ms. Bennett again?
I did.
When did you try and make contact with her?
It's a couple days after. It was either May, I think it was May 16th, or can I look at it?
Sure.
It was
Let me
either-
know if that report tells us if you need another report.
No, I need a copy of my case notes.
Permission to approach.
You may.
I'm showing you what's been marked as Stacy Exhibit 59 Alpha Alpha. Does looking at Stacy Exhibit 59 Alpha Alpha help refresh your memory as to when you made contact with Ms. Bennett again?
Yeah, I called on May 19th around 10:20 a.m. and left her a message.
Okay. And did she ever return your phone call?
She did not.
Did you try to make contact with her again?
I did not.
On May 12th or May 13th, did you get any other reports of any shootings at Trestle Street Apartments?
I did not.
Now, were you ever able to identify any of the individuals, Thug, DK, or Thug's brother?
I was.
Were you able to identify?
I was able to identify Thug as Jeffery Williams.
Now, after being able to identify Thug as Jeffery Williams, did you eventually close this case?
I did.
Why did you close the case?
Because failure to contact Miss Bennett to do a follow-up investigation.
Okay. Now, in your report, did you make any determinations about Miss Bennett as a reason why you closed the report?
I said in my report that it seems that she was being not completely truthful and that she cannot be located for a follow-up investigation.
Now, did you put why you believed her to be not completely truthful?
I did not.
Okay. Today, do you recall as to why you may have put that she was not completely truthful?
I do not.
I know you said you didn't call her. By any chance, did you ever go back out to the apartment if she was still residing at the apartment location?
I did not.
Any reason why you did not go back out to the apartment complex?
Just caseload, busy.
Did you ever try to make contact with the leasing agent to see if she still resided at the apartment complex?
I did not.
Were you ever able to determine if she had gotten a new cell phone or a new cell phone number?
I did not.
And were you ever able to call the telephone number in which, if she had gotten, she said that the suspects were calling from?
I don't recall doing that, no.
And I know you just talked about caseload. Was that the reason why you didn't do some of these other things?
At the time, I would have given Ms. Bennett my contact information, my number, my email address, along with her report number. It would have been very easy for her to have contacted me. I also called and left her a message. The follow-up investigation on this would be after the second victim contact, where I would have brought her in. We did a formal interview, recorded. So this, when she did not contact me or return my call, excuse me. To be quite honest and to be candid, this was put on the back burner, and I had to move on and investigate other crimes.
And based upon what she told you about at least what happened on May 12th, was that bullet hole in her couch consistent with what she had told you about what happened to her on May 12th, 2013?
Yes, it was.
Court's indulgence for a moment. Ask you this, Investigator Kirkman, in your years of experience, is it uncommon for victims of crimes to not respond after reporting a crime?
Objection, relevance.
I stand the objection.
Did the fact that Ms. Kirkman told you that they called and apologized to her, did that have any bearing on your investigation?
That Ms. Bennett called and said they apologized?
No, that the individuals who stole her phone called her and apologized. Did that have any bearing on your investigation?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, given that it's 12:15 in the lunchtime hour, why don't we take an hour for lunch and have everybody come back for 1:15? Okay? Investigator Kirkman, if we could get you to come back for 1:15, we'll continue examination at that time. Please don't discuss your testimony with anybody except the attorneys in this case, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, sir. I'm going to release you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you back at 1:15, okay? All right, all rise.